People, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. And without further ado, we're just going to get into it. This video was supposed to preview the game between Man City, Chelsea tomorrow, predict the lineups. But I just also wanted to touch on the Gallagher situation because, it's very evident that he's not wanted at the club. He's being put up for sale. A fee has been agreed with Atletico, and the only thing missing really is agreement on personal terms. And that they're later reporting saying that he's open to signing the new contract. He wants to say yada yada yada. But it's not. This isn't new because even as of last season, he was being looked to be moved on. A few was agreed with Aston Villa. I think at a point he didn't want to go there, and he stayed till the end of the year. And Poch is gone, a new coach is coming, and as we've all seen, or we've been told, Maresca likes to play a certain style of football, which means people or players like Conor Gallagher somewhat become redundant in the system because a lot of the qualities needed to make the system work are a lot of the qualities he lacks, which means they have to just move him on. Whatever the money, is being gotten for him will probably be reinvested into a different player and whatnot. See, if I were him, I'll go. I'll leave only because they've told you so many times. And if the reporting is true, you're not going to be with the team when they get back to England. It's pointless trying to stay somewhere where you're not wanted. You know, just move to Spain. It's a new team. It's a new it's a new culture. It's a new adventure. It's a new you know um, project out there. They're in the Champions League. They have some good players. They're all they're one of the biggest teams in Spain right now. So it's not even like he's moving from Chelsea to say like an Ipswich, and I mean that with no disrespect, or like a Crystal Palace where he used to be before, or an Aston Villa, the teams that are not traditionally looked as like the bigger teams in recent years. So again, for me, I can understand why he wants to stay. He's played in England for majority of his career. This is a team that he loves. This is a club that he loves. He came through the academy. He's represented the badge. I understand all of that. But again, even better players have been moved on, and it's not even they're selling all the Cobham, graduates and whatnot. I think if you fit into the idea they're trying to cultivate, you probably stay. But if you don't, then you're being sold. And unfortunately for him, he just happens to be, the one kind of odd guy out of this whole midfield that we have. Because if you look at the midfielders we have, a lot of what they have that he doesn't really possess is, the technical ability to have a very good first touch, playing close quarters, possession based, and having a good passing ability. For me, I think that's something he doesn't really possess in comparison to the guys we have in the team. Hence, him being tried to be moved on. I don't, again, the only out the only outcome I see coming out of this is either now he might sign a new deal. Again, I'm not saying this is gospel, but he might sign a new deal if he's really insisted on staying, but he might not get the compensation he's been trying to negotiate for a while, because now you give Chelsea the power back. Since you're insisting on not leaving, whatever they had on the table, they're probably going to take it off and try to renegotiate something much lower. And you might just be forced to take it. Or you get too much pressure. You do understand and realize if you stayed here, again, you only have 1 year on your contract. You can wait it out, but not a lot of big teams are lining up to sign a player like Conor Gallagher. In as much as, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United fans, other fans would like to tell you otherwise, that, he's a good player And I think he's a good player. I think he is a good squad player. I just don't see him getting minutes over some of these other guys. I just don't see him fitting in well. So I think the best, plan for his professional development would be to leave because they're essentially forcing you out. There's no point trying to stay somewhere where they're telling you you're not welcome. They've been trying to get rid of you for like two, even three windows now. So it just looks like you don't have any place in the plans. And whatever he decides to do, that's going to be on him. For me, again, I think he's a good player. I just think he's just not good for the roles that they might want to see him play in, and hence the imbalance. So it is what it is. If he wants to stay, I just see them trying to downplay and lowball him when it comes to the new offer because now they're going to try to renegotiate this and still look to move you on again. So whatever Gallagher does, that's on him. I do wish him the best, and in as much as I might not rate him as as highly as some of these other guys, I think he has his uses. I think he has his qualities that you can utilize in different ways. I just don't see him being like a perfect fit for this team. So, however it happens over this weekend, we shall see. Um, and yeah, because you hear people say, "Well, why are you selling all this car bomb graduates?" Clearly doesn't know what they're doing. Even when Abramovich was here, they sold a lot of the good players that we have. Arguably, some of the players we might think are a little better than him. I think the biggest example for me is Nathan Ake. He was one of the best defenders we had, and guess what happened? He was moved on. You understand what I mean? Like Tammy Abraham scored about 20 goals for us. Guess what? He was moved on. So I think it's not really to his benefit staying here because you're going to not play. And I don't know how a lot of teams are going to be lining up trying to sign you if you're not playing. So I just look, I wish the guy the very best. If he stays, great. Again, I think he's good enough to be a squad player. And if he gets sold, then it is what it is because I just don't see him being a good fit for this team. And that's my take on that. So whatever he wants to do, I really do hope he makes the best decision for himself. And that's really it. But tomorrow we play Man City. It's a friendly game. I am excited to see what Maresca has uh, cooking. I think when we played Club America, we had a very good game. I think a lot of these guys came alive. I think a lot of the guys played really well. I believe a lot of the issues we saw in the first two games were at least minimized to a minimum. And all in all, like no one really played awfully, right? So I think that has to be a credit to the manager seeing what some of the issues were and then rectifying those issues. And we play Man City. Now, I don't really see this Man City team being, a full strength team. And this could be also another opportunity to see how far we've come in, in the last 3 weeks, in the last few weeks, when it comes to just cohesion, team cohesion, um, possession play, understanding of where you guys have to be, positional play, fitness. I think this would be another good exposure for the boys to just go out there, get some minutes in, understand more of the what the manager wants from you. So I think I'm just gonna build what I believe is going to be what I would like to see him play. In the first two games, he's made a few changes when it came to like the players out wide, especially on the left. I think the game previous to the um, the Club America game, he played Mudrik on the left. So I think here you're already going to see. I just see Gu starting this game. Um, I don't see Jackson being back anytime soon for this game. I've liked what I've seen from Gil. I think he's had great movement. I think his finishing could be a lot better. And it's all positive signs because this is someone who just came into the team, just joined the club, and he's still building that understanding with the people around him. He's still building, some fitness, his sharpness, because he's had a few good opportunities to score. He did score in the last game. He has an assist. And again, for his age, the amount spent on him, he's looked good. Nothing too spectacular. He's looked functional enough. He's looked much better than Armando Broja. So again, if we sign Victor Osimhen or not, it's looking like he might get, a chance in the conference league, maybe some of the cup games. And again, for someone to leave the Barcelona team, there's got to be something, that has been set to you in terms of minutes you're going to get, and the opportunities. But in the first 3 games, he's looked good. He's looked okay. And I'll start him. And on the left, this is where I go. I'll start Mikhailo Mudryk for this game. I think he played the game prior. Sterling came in, and Sterling did look good. But again, going off of what I've seen so far from Maresca, he's kind of played one game, swapped for the other one the next game. So for me, I think Mudryk goes in this position for me. Again, we saw a really good performance from Drewsby Hall. I think that was his first game with the team, so I wasn't really expecting him to pull any trees, but he still looked very good. He looked comfortable on the ball. He progression was really good with the ball, forward passing, understanding what to do. He definitely didn't have his shooting boots on because he could have had at least two goals in this game. But again, that comes with consistency. I think that comes with a lot of game time, understanding the formation better, understanding where your teammates are going to be, what they're going to do, how to position yourself. But Drewsby Hall had a great game for me. And for someone who came back from injury, did look a little rusty, but he kept the game ticking. And that's what I want to see. And another thing I saw from him in that game was, making those advanced runs into the box, running past, the midfield areas. I think I enjoyed seeing that. Him being a left-footed player, he suited that left space and behind the center forward. So I like to see more of that again. And I think for me, I like this signing. He has experience in the league. He played in the championship last year, but this is a Premier League level player, and we've had some really good steals, over the years. Conte, for an example, Ramirez, we've had a profile like that, Matic. So again, as long as he could keep, a good level, give me a solid 7, 8 out of 10 every single game, I don't think we're going to be really mad about his signing. I definitely do agree that he is an upgrade on Gallagher in this team, only because one, he's played with a manager. Two, he looks comfortable on the ball. He is comfortable on the ball. His passes are typically forward, not backwards, not sideways. He doesn't look the ball, retains possession. Listen, good signing. I'd like to see him, just keep improving. Over here, we go with Nkunku. It's 3 games, 3 goals. He's looked like one of our better players this preseason. He has been our better player this season, and we have really missed him a lot from last year. I know a lot of Chelsea fans say this online. If we had the likes of Nkunku, Lavia, I think we definitely could have done a lot better than we did last year. And so far, everything's looked good. Knock on wood, he just keeps his form on. He keeps going, and I think we get to see the best of him. I'm not really so sure about him being on that right-hand side. I mean, he's a very intelligent player enough to be able to just show his quality. I would have thought he would have made a much more of an impression in the role that KDH is playing. But again, Nkunku is quality enough. You want to play him on that right side, he's going to give you, a good performance. So I'm going to play him. And it's looking like, honestly, Maresca is building Noni's minutes. because in my last preview I was going to put Angelo, but I'm not going to, only because Madueke has played in that role all throughout preseason. So it's no point trying to go with Angelo. And Madueke's looked good. You know, the last game he was frustrating me a bit with his body language and just his application looked like he wasn't really in the mood, but he still was, you know, he still was okay. He still created some chances. He could have scored a goal or two himself if he only trusted his right foot enough. He's too left-footed for me, you know, and that's something he definitely has to work on. He scored a few, you know, he scored a great goal, I think, against Luton Town last year with his right, you know. So you have to trust your right foot. You can't be too left-footed because he had good opportunities to shoot with his right, opted to still go with the left, and the chances were gone. But he's looked good. I like to see him continue building some momentum. And then on this side, last game, we did see Gusto, and Gusto looked good. He looked so much better than Reece James in that position for me. And I would like to see him play in that same role. He covered on the left. Look, there's nothing more to say about this kid. Phenomenal piece of business, great player. I think he's just going to get better, and he's just he you know he's quality. Nothing else to say. And over here, we already know what Lavia's looked like during preseason, and I'm so happy that you know, as rusty as he might have looked sometimes, he just looks like a natural footballer. You know, this is one of those guys who doesn't need a lot of, games to show you his quality. He's come in, worked on his fitness, he's looked good, he's bossed the midfield, he's kept it simple, won the ball back. I'm so happy we signed this guy. And as like this team really goes forward, I believe he's going to play a very key role in our season this year. And I can't be, just happy enough to have the likes of Lavia in my midfield, Enzo Fernandez in my midfield, Moises Caicedo in my midfield. You know, now you've got Gusto in Verdon. I think we have Cucurella coming back as well. We have a few options. You know, we have Viega who can also play that role. So this season, injuries aside, and hopefully, the fitness and the medical team are able to be on point. I think we do a lot better than we did last year. People wouldn't agree. I think we do, just based on the fact that when you have enough quality in your team, as bad as like the organization could be, individual moments can always win you points. Individual quality tends to, just come through. And I just see us doing better than we did last year. And he's going to be a key role. He's going to be a key factor. He's had a good preseason so far. And I hope he continues that. And the right center back for me, Reece James. We've seen him play this role under Tuchel a few times in Champions League games and big games, and he's not looked out of place. He's played that Aspie role, over the years a few times. And look, he's one of the best defenders when it comes to just locking down a man. And I think it saves him from being up and down, up and down, up and down. I think you can minimize his workload and just have him just defend, still have enough quality to be able to be like dangerous on that side. So for me, James goes here. Badia Shield looked really good in that left hand side of the defense. Colwell didn't play last game. I'm not too sure what his fitness is. It hasn't been reported that he's going to be out for this game. So do I see Maresca playing Colwell in that role? Maybe not this game, potentially the next one. So I just see Badiashile starting in this role again. He looked nervous a few times in the last game, but I think overall he had a decent game. He just needs to stop, he needs to stop selling people short on some of these passes because that's how you get people hurt. If you're going to play the pass, have the conviction, punch it into midfield, punch it out wide, but stop selling the passes short. That's my only thing. And in the center of the defense, I'm going to go with Tosin, 6'5", quick, can play the ball on the ground, wins his aerial duels, a physical defender. Solid, solid signing for me. And I think he's going to add a lot to this team. He's already looked like he's adding leadership qualities to this team. And I love that. With the whole, penalty situation with Noni taking the ball. But again, it was reported Maresca told them to let them Noni know, and Kunku's going to take it. And that's another thing I do want to point out. Last year, we had this comical situations where players are fighting over spot kicks and whatnot. The coach is coming. He said, "This is who's going to take it. If this person is not here, this is the next person who's going to take it, and it's done." So if anybody wants to be silly again this year, then they can be hit with whatever consequences they get hit with. Because it's just annoying to see teammates fighting over the ball on who goes to take the penalties. Like if we know someone can convert, walk away. You know what I mean? Like I understand Noni can convert spot kicks, and he's a confident player in his ability, but sometimes that confidence does not really translate into your gameplay. So for me, I'm happy the coach has already set it out. This is who's going to take him, and that's it. And I think I'm going to give the debut to Jorgensen. Since he's been signed, Sanchez has looked like he's trying to retain that spot. But for me, I'll start with a new goalie, see what he has to offer, see how he essentially, just combines with his teammates. Let's see if he is the ball playing goalkeeper we've been sold and we've been told about. Let's see what his shot stopping looks like. Look, he's got to prove himself. He didn't cost a lot of money, but I like Petrovic from last year. They decided he's not going to be a right fit for this, system. You've gotten Jorgensen. Let's see what he has. But for me, this will be my starting 11 for tomorrow. Hopefully, these guys look, as good as they did last game, if not better. And if I had to give us a score prediction, I think I would go with a. So Man City have lost a few of their preseason games as well. So it's not like they've been on, smoke. It's not like they've been as sharp. Holland has still gotten a goal or two this preseason. I really don't know what their starting lineup is going to be, but I don't see him, going all crazy with this. So maybe I'll go with like a 2-2, maybe. I'll go with a sneaky 2-2 for this game. I just see this game being a good game, good football. It's Pep against Maresca, the professor versus a student. And Maresca said, "Listen, I'm no Pep. Pep is one of the best. I'm just one of the other managers. So we show us what you've learned from one of the greatest teachers. Show us how we're going to be when the season starts. So, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Like the video, sub to the channel. I think we're on like 48 subs right now. I would like to see it get to around 60, and then we keep pushing to see if we can get 100. But if you enjoy the content, because that's how the channel can be built. That's how the algorithm will push it out there to see more people. So definitely like it, sub to the channel, and I'll be back after the game. Hopefully we didn't take it now. Hopefully we win. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.